All right, what's up, people? Obviously, I'm drunk and I'm high and I'm off the motherfucking chains. So, I'm making this Christmas video for everybody because I just thought about something and I had to share it. And that's kind of the way I roll. So, because I was rewatching my videos on the historical Jesus and I was trying to think, because of course it's Christmas time, so why not, right? Just meditate on things like, May the 4th. It's like I'm start thinking about Luke Skywalker and how strong is his lightsaber, that type shit. You get what I'm saying? But I started thinking about it, and one of the biggest divides, if you're a scholar of the New Testament, is, and I'm not saying I'm a scholar of the New Testament, I'm just saying I've read a lot of them, and that's cool. One of the biggest divides is between what are called the Synoptic Gospels, that's Matthew, Mark, and Luke, that's the first three, and the Gospel of John, which is the fourth Gospel, because they are very different in style, substance, etc. However, there are a couple of things that are actually held in common. Now, what you would normally think is that those things that were held in common should probably point you a little bit to who the real guy, you know what I'm talking about, the real guy, the reason for the season, man. Come on. It's the Lord Jesus Christ himself. I mean, what did he do except reimagine our calendars for us? You want to deny his magic? But who the hell was that guy? Well, there are a couple of things that really resonate. I'm going to give them in weird order, so we'll just deal with them how I'm going to deal with them. This is a bonus video. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have any of that shit, so it's just going to go up. It's going to compete with my last video, which means if you're a student of mine, you'll be diligent. You'll be cool. Everything will be all right. The first thing is, why was Jesus killed? All four Gospels, all four, have this in common, which is why what I found interesting, and one of the books that I really like on this topic was written by somebody named Paula Fredrickson. She's a PhD. She has all the letters after her name, so I don't have to. The title of her book, and it's a short book, and I have it somewhere in here. It's not put up yet. I'm getting to it. It's not put up yet. The title of the book is King of the Jews. And it's an examination of why was Jesus crucified, because that's why, if you look at all four Gospels, that's the only thing they agree on. That he was killed for being the King of the Jews. So I looked at it. That's the one thing they agree on. So, dude was killed for being, quote unquote, the King of the Jews. Well, what did that mean? Well, we understand the Messianic hope. We understand the late prophets. We understand basically what was going on with the Maccabees. Before that, the uprisings, everything else. My personal opinion, just me. I mean, you can look at it any way you want to look at it. I think this was a sporadic uprising of, we're called, so to be able to understand this is another theme that runs through, if you look at all these books, is that Jesus was in some way the son of David, meaning inheriting the throne. He was a Messiah figure. This is, if you really want to put all four things together, I just gave you number one. Number one is that he was killed for a specific reason. They all four agree on that. This one, they kind of agree, but they all have different understandings of what it means, because they were still trying to reel from the fact that he was hung up on a tree like a curse. I mean, that goes back to the Old Testament. You're going to have to look that shit up. I think it's Leviticus, but it's basically like, when you hang somebody on a tree, it's a curse. And you can combine that with Micah 5:1, whatever the fuck you want to combine it with, biblically. You're going to get, and that's what the early Christians did, is that they combined old school and new school shit together. And that's what Paul was excellent at, because Paul, above all, was a polemicist. He wasn't somebody that even knew the real Jesus. The real Jesus was most likely, again, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I'll say it until the day I die. The real Jesus was more like Osama bin Laden than you would ever imagine. Think about that. Reflect on that. And I like Jesus. I like the real Jesus, though. I don't like the fake Jesus. You know, of course, he said maybe some of what he said. How much of what he said did he actually fucking say? That's what you have to fucking think about. And go back to all 4 books. And what is the most common? Think about it. He died for being the king of the Jews. He was an insurrectionist. He ran afoul of his own people, which means that he was part of a sectarian movement within Judaism, which is basically a bloodline movement. He is what would be Shia, as opposed to Sunni, if you're familiar with your Islam. Somebody that felt bloodline was important, and he was, for whatever fucking reason, the bloodline. But he was a smart guy. He was taught well. As I said, he learned to read on year 12. All of these things are meant to teach you something about the real guy that exists below the shadows. He had 5 brothers. One of those brothers sold him out. One of those brothers of his, blood brother, literally a blood brother, sold him out. That's also in all 4. At least I think. If Mark leaves it out, then Mark sucks. Everybody knows Judas, named the Iscariot. Why is he named the Iscariot? He's a Sicarii. He carries a curved blade in his pocket. What does that mean about Jesus? Right? So you start getting these things. Like where does the Bible and like all the other sources, where do they all come together? We have the synoptics, and then we have the Gospel of John. Where do they come together? That's what I'm trying to show you. They come together in affirming that Jesus died on a cross, to which was affixed the title King of the Jews, which is a mockery, obviously. Which means that he obviously intended to be that, or the others intended him to be that within his own life. Right? Also, that he was a speaker. He was somebody that went around talking to people, etc. And that talking confounded people. So we can agree on that. That his birth and his origin were somewhat uneventful, which is why, creation myths have been written about people that were born out of people's stomachs and shit like that. And I'm not even talking about him, I'm talking about the Buddha. They're all goofy. Every man that's ever lived on this world has come from a woman, and every woman has also come from a woman. It's just the way it works. Sorry. So he came through his mother Mary. Look at Mark. If you look at the Gospel of Mark and how much he kind of hates the family of Jesus. And then look later at Luke Acts and how the family of Jesus has to be respected because it's still a name. Look at the difference in time. You'll understand the entire fucking concept. I just think it's really interesting that we value our calendar after this motherfucker. This is the guy. You know, I know Muslims do it. They don't even do it after the birth of Muhammad. They do it after AH, which is after the Hijrah, which was the migration. They don't even do it after Muhammad's birth because they take the first commandment seriously. Thou shalt have no graven images, which is one of the reasons if I had to respect a religion, which I don't, by the way, but if I had to, it would probably be Islam. It's the most pure, for sure. But when you look back and you think about who was this guy, Jesus, I think he was the successor to the line of the Maccabees when it came to revolution against Rome. I think he had 5 brothers. I think they had a gang together. I think one of them soft-ass niggers turned him in to the Romans. And that's the story we have. And you know what? That's unfortunate. But you can make a myth about it if you want. I think that's what really fucking happened. Yeah, he touched some people. He was like, hey, man, get up. He would tell them in, like, broken Aramaic or some shit like that. Hey, man, get up. We got to go. We got to get this done. And you had that one motherfucker, like, what was it, Cypher in The Matrix, who said, look, bro, just give me a good steak, reinsert me into the Matrix. I'm good. You know what I mean? That, to me, is the ultimate narrative here. So, yeah, this is my ultimate Christmas blessing to all of you, everybody. And seriously, there's I would say about 300 people just need to quit my fucking channel. Just let me keep this below. You're already fucking with me. Okay, look, so I the over 2,000 thing, but no. I want it to be below because all that's going to happen is somebody's going to fucking report me to the, alphabet hierarchy and I'm fucked. I don't want to be fucked like that. But anywho, think about what I said. Christmas message, man. Who was Jesus? I think I have a really good idea of who he was. And it has nowhere near to do with a son or a God. There's only one son, God.